How you doing, guys? This is Jason Gutierrez, PT. I'm going to do a video today, very important to me. It's basically going to be about the training that I've done the last couple of years and how I've healed and strengthened my system. So this is actually for my brother as well, and this is some really good information. So I hope everybody's having a great day. So what I called this was healing the lungs and increasing strength and longevity. So I kind of made some numbered concepts in order of importance on one way to kind of rebuild your system, and the way that I've chosen to do it, considering I really love natural means of healing, you know, and so this is what I've come up with. So anyway, number one is grounding work, including clockwise weight shifting, figure eight weight shifting, lymph node stimulation with rotational movements of the hips, grounding into kidney 1, relaxing the neck and shoulders, forming these movements with slow, deep breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. So that's basically, we could just call it grounding. So grounding, in my eyes, and what I've been taught, and even other types of medicine talk about this a lot. Grounding is your ability to connect your feet into the earth, and your ability to let the tension from your neck and shoulders just go down into your feet and into the earth, to connect your feet into the earth, to connect your leg strength into the earth, to take the energy from the earth back up into your body. I train barefoot, and I've done that for about 2-3 years on and off, but I'd say definitely for the last 2 years. And that actually helps me just connect into my points. So kidney 1 would be the dead center of the bottom of the foot, and then a little bit towards the forefoot, right? So the area from kind of where your forefoot meets your midfoot, that whole line right there is very strong grounding, right? So when you move and when you do exercise, you connect those points into the earth. You drop your feet through those points with your mind. Connect your feet down, right? So then I talked about clockwise weight shifting. So in my experience, clockwise weight shifting, I'm actually swiveling my hips in a clockwise direction, is going to pull energy downwards. And it's going to basically, as you move your hips, let me see, I'll just take that down a little bit. So we're going in a clockwise motion. And when you come backward to forward, you're going to open and stimulate the lymph nodes, in my opinion, as well. So basically, the area of the groin where the lymph nodes run, you're going to basically stimulate, move some lymph through there by little muscle contractions in the front of the hip, kind of stretching the motion. When you come forward, you stretch the hips. So we're going to do that for 3 minutes. We're going to do that 2 to 3 times a day. And the whole thing is, let your body sink into the ground. Let your feet sink down and open up those lymph nodes and rotate those hips and loosen the hips up. So this is also good for, hip pain and low back pain, and just kind of getting used. So when you walk, your hips have to rotate in and out. When you step through your leg, your hip has to rotate outwards, and you want that motion available as well. So it's got, in my opinion, energetic and musculoskeletal benefits. All right. Figure 8, you would just basically do the same thing, but except you move your hips and the number 8. So again, your feet are shoulder width apart, and you draw the number 8 by the way you shift under. Right? And I learned that in a class, Tai Chi for Stroke, in San Diego years ago. Probably the best thing I took out of the class. And you're gonna, again, loosen up the hips, stimulate the lymph nodes, connecting those feet into the ground. Figure 8 movements. And we'll say do that for about 2 minutes, 2 to 3 times a day as well. Right? And this can also be every other day. So if you're real busy, every other day is just fine as well. Number 3, basically just a functional way to look at it would be everything you do, let those shoulders go when you reach and grab a laundry basket. Press the feet down, let the shoulders go. Drive up through the legs, drive up through the earth. Make it a functional training. So clockwise shifting, figure 8 weight shifting, and using that mind concept of pressing those feet into the ground with everything you do. Walking around, connect your feet into the earth. Picking something up off the ground, connect your feet into the earth. So when you squat, when you do exercise at the gym, squats, lunges, whatever, connect your feet into the earth. So that is concept number 1. Concept number 2 would be supplementation. And again, this is my experience. And I'm not going to say to anybody, try things without talking to your doctor first or your nutritionist. Cordyceps, American ginseng, and a natural antihistamine. All right, so these things are basically fuel for your system to basically come back. If you have stressors, you have chronic stressors like difficulty breathing, high amounts of anxiety or stress, not perfect sleep, your body gets weaker, right? So adaptogens are supplements or fuel or food that is going to bring you back to a more homeostatic internal system. I'm trying to make sense, explain this in ways that people can understand what it's done for me. So cordyceps, you can do a lot of research on that and how it's good for longevity, it's good for the lungs and kidneys. American ginseng, I talked to an acupuncture friend of mine who's a PhD. She says American ginseng is not going to heat your system up. So we're in, summer heat right now, 100 degrees probably for the next 2-3 months. And I don't want anything that's going to, increase heat in my system. Cordyceps may do that a little bit, but it's worth it to me. All right. And the other thing would be maca root. So maca root, a lot of people don't like the taste. It's an amazing tonic for your whole body, your hormones. It's like a rejuvenating food. It's a superfood if you can research that. All right. And natural antihistamines, you can just go online into your favorite online retailer or GNC or something like that and find yourself a natural antihistamine so your body will fight off the histamine responses that it gets from inflammation, from dust, from mold, whatever. You have to have that antihistamine effect going on. And the stronger you get, you won't need it as much, but it's a very important thing. Concept number 3, pressure points. Pressure points have been tremendous for me. I've learned a lot through different acupuncturists that I've seen through the years and things that I've tried when I was, struggling in my own, physical issues years ago and through life. And we're going to talk about the thumb, the outside of the thumb and the inside of the thumb, the tips. Those areas are going to stimulate healing to the lung. All right, and I felt this myself. If I'm in the middle of a session, my lungs start to get a little bit tired, I can massage my pinky and my thumb, and almost like it calms my system down, right? So research traditional Chinese medicine and research the lung meridian, and you'll learn more about that. So I'm going to say, 2 to 3 minutes, 3 times a day, massaging the tip of the thumb, all right? Going over to the pinky, same thing, massaging the tip of the pinky. The pinky and this side of the hand connects to the heart meridian. So your heart and lungs obviously work together. They're in the same upper location, and upper jowl it's called. And so I would do that again, 3 minutes, 2 to 3 times a day. That's also good for stress. It's good for kind of calming your system and feel like you're overheating. It's just a tremendous point working on the tip of the pinky. All right, so that's that. And then we're just going to throw in the space between the thumb and the first finger, which is pretty well-known point for headaches, sinus congestion, etc. So I would do that one right there. Same thing, 2 to 3 minutes, 2 to 3 times a day. All right, so that's basically the pressure points. Number 4, what I learned from an awesome massage therapist is navel massage. So around your navel, it basically corresponds to all the internal organs in the body, right? So what I've done is created a clockwise. I'm going to put this down for 1 second. a clockwise, so this is the top of my navel, and I'm going to massage clockwise around the navel. All right? Time moves clockwise, energy to me grounds when you go clockwise, and it just feels really good. So again, when your system is overheating, you're struggling a little bit, your nervous system is excited from whatever reason, your lungs are tired, just massage around the outskirts of the navel, nice and easy. All right, and you can look up abdominal navel massage and learn even more about that. But I would do that, 2 to 3 minutes, a couple times a day. If it moves your bowels a little bit, your body wants to get rid of it anyway. Detox yourself. Amazing what this has done as well. And you can feel the different areas, right? What's tight around the outskirts of the navel, right on the lip of the navel, all the way around. All right, so that's that. Number 5, vibration. So vibration, I use a kidney massager, or actually, a vibration massager for kidney points, sinus points. I even have done it on the pinkies and thumbs. So you can actually, when you're sitting in your chair, put the vibrator on the floor, right? So this would be like a handheld vibrator. There's tons of them online. Press it against the middle of your foot, dead bottom of the middle of your foot, and use the other foot to press against it, right? So you're holding the vibrator against that area, right? So there, dead center bottom of the middle of the foot, and then a little bit higher. And it'll be like the nodule where your forefoot meets your midfoot, and it'll feel tender. I would, massage, use that vibrator to hit that again, as long as you want, 3 to 10 minutes, at least once a day. Get those areas to, be stimulated. They put needles in those areas to really ground you, and just do it. This is just really good stuff. All right, and then I would also do the vibrator on your tips of your fingers and toes, right? So sinuses, if you get that vibrator, put it right on the tips of the fingers. The sinuses connect to the fingertips along with the meridian system, as well. So we're just going to take that vibrator, put it on each finger, each hand, a couple minutes, 2 hands, and then same thing on the feet. Put your feet on top of the vibrator, let it stimulate the toes, maybe open those sinuses up a little bit, all right? Sinuses themselves, we can do coming down from the bottom of the eyes, right on the sides of the nose, and you'll feel just doing that, kind of like a downward outward angle. That's going to even open up your sinuses even more. So in Chinese medicine, what I've experienced is the lungs and the sinuses are connected. The sinuses open up to the lungs. So the sinuses have to be open so you can breathe in through the upper part, bring it down through the bronchi into the upper lungs, right? So that's just an extra one right there. All right, so that was actually number 5 and 6, vibration. Number 6 is vibration on the tips of the toes and the tips of the fingers for sinuses. Number 7 is called EFT. EFT, I am not certified in, but I have used it and I have learned from somebody that's a master of it. Very easy to do. If you Google EFT tapping, you can see where different points are tapped. So the outside of the hand. All right, and you could do this, 30 seconds to a minute on each side. So it starts on the outside of the hand. You can feel something going on there. You can feel how it's tender. And if it's tender, it means the energy needs to move through there. All right, dead center top of the head. You tap that. All right, and then you come down to the sides of the eyes. And then you come to the outside of the eyes, kind of where the eye bones are. All right, and then you come down under the eyes. That's kind of a sinus point right there. And you come under the nose. And you come right under the mouth, right where the chin meets the mouth. And these should all feel a little bit tender, and that's good. That means you're going to be moving the energy by tapping on them. And you come down to right under the collarbones. And then you come under each armpit. So you're basically stimulating energy into the different meridians and activating these pressure points. This stuff is tremendous. I'd say top 5 that I've ever learned as far as what you can get out of it emotionally, physically, energetically. All right, and then a couple extras, just going where the wrists kind of hit each other, right at the, below the carpal tunnel there. I learned that when somebody that was teaching it said to do that area as well. All right, so that's EFT. All right, 1 second, my laptop froze up. It went to its screen here. All right, excellent. So number 8 is going to be segmental deep breathing in the groin, into the lower belly, into the intercostals, into the back side of the intercostals, your upper rib cage on the back side, into the upper chest with arms crossed, and then through the nose and out through the mouth. So long story short, with any kind of COPD, people are tight. They can't descend their breath down into the lower lungs. They're shallow. It doesn't feel good to them to breathe. They're struggling to breathe. So you have, all the other stuff we did previously, like the hip rotations, the grounding, is prerequisite to getting, to me, the energetic system to work better so you can breathe better. So we're thinking, put your hands right on the groin area, right on the sides of the groin, right in front. So we're thinking right about here. All right, so you're basically gonna practice, and this can be in a recliner chair, laying on your back. Just practice taking a few breaths into the groin. As silly as that sounds, breathe low. And you can let your hips kind of, swing forward a little bit, open that groin up. All right, so that's part 1. Part 2, into the lower belly. So lower belly, we're going to put one hand directly underneath the belly button and the other hand on top of it, right? So that's dantian in Chinese or Japanese medicine. And that area centers you. And it's another way to pull the energy down that's congested up here. So breathe in, expand the belly out into your hands gently. Good. So then we're going to move from there. We're going to make our way out lateral a little bit. So we're going to put our hands on the rib cage, and you'll see the ribs don't want to move the way they should. They don't want to expand up and out when you breathe in, which is what they should do. They don't want to contract. Maybe they're just too tight when they contract back in. So let's do a breathing technique, breathing and expanding the ribs up and out, right on the sides. And that'd be that one. Right, so we're moving from there into the posterior. So I don't do a lot of posterior training, but we want to kind of activate all sides of the ribs to expand, right? So posterior, you can kind of slump over. And then when you breathe in, expand the ribs up and out posteriorly. And then when you breathe out, the ribs come back in. And that'd be that one. So then we'll work into the upper chest. Now the upper chest, we're thinking up here. Now, a technique that I learned years ago that my aunt loved is to cross the arms and put them right under your collarbones and just breathe into the area right under your hands. So again, the ribs are coming up and out as you breathe in. We've had 100-degree heat and winds, and that's why I'm a little congested in my sinuses. All right, so that'd be that. So that's basically the actual breathing techniques. I would do those 30 seconds each, and increase the amount of times per day you can do it. Don't hyperventilate. Don't do too many reps and too shallow reps. Just do what feels comfortable. Don't force the breath, but think about the area. Start at the bottom and work your way up. Think about the areas on the back side as well, and just practice that nice and easy. All right, and then the last one, number 9, is conditioning work. So conditioning work, would be what I use, obviously, is the resistance band setup. And when you have this setup, it will change your life. You can train everything and minimize stress on your heart and lungs and start there and then build yourself up where you start being able to do upper body stuff. And you can tolerate it so much more. But you gotta start from the ground up. You gotta start building your legs up, building up your rotation, building up your kidneys, building up your ability to control your breathing as you train, which is huge. I don't say breathing out through the nose. I don't say breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, although that is great. I say control it. And I do some in through the nose, out through the mouth breathing, but I control it. And that is what's built me up. I started at 30 minutes, maybe 15 to 30 minutes, 18 months ago, 2 years ago. And now I can train, an hour, hour and a half. And I don't like to go over an hour, 10 minutes because you start becoming catabolic at that time. So, basically when you get this, you stand in it, right? And the conditioning work can be done without your heart and lungs being overstressed because your arms aren't involved, right? So we can do squats, we can do those hip rotations, we can do the figure 8, we can do gentle side bends, and all of that is going to condition your legs, hips, and core without straining your heart and lungs. You don't have to lift any weights, you don't have to lift huge weight off the ground, you don't have to do 1,000 sit-ups. You just condition yourself without affecting, so much heart rate and so much lung, symptomatic, type of issues. All right, so we're thinking doing core focus exercises while performing the movements. Let's see. So basically the thing is, you start out with 15 to 30 minutes, 3 times a week doing this type of stuff, right? If you don't have this set up and you can't get it, maybe hold some light dumbbells in your hands or some, just get a resistance band and tie it up somewhere in your house that you can use that for resistance, but keep that low, right? So if you had a resistance band that you were going to use for, conditioning, keep it low. Because we don't want to have resistance bands at the beginning of building yourself up overhead. We want to start low. So if I was going to grab these, I would have my arms nice and low. And then I could do my hip rotations and I could activate my core to contract more because I'm holding a little resistance in my arms. I could do my figure 8s, I could do my side-to-side bends. And I'm not going to strain because my arms are under my heart. Versus an overhead press, a bench press, you're going to get more strain on the heart and lungs. We want to minimize that until we build up more. All right, so that's pretty much it. Just building up your amount of time that you can condition yourself, trying all these different things, control your breathing as you train. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's long, but it's so worth it. I can't explain what this setup has done to change my life. I have one more big goal to achieve, and life is good. Thanks so much, guys.